Have you ever had a conversation where someone deliberately twists your words, distorts your meaning, and manipulates the discussion to make you look bad? It's frustrating. It can feel like no matter how clearly you explain yourself, they keep misrepresenting what you said. And the more you try to defend yourself, the deeper you fall into their trap. This is not a battle of logic, it's a game of control. But here's the truth. You don't have to play. The moment you let frustration take over, you've already lost. That's what they want. They don't care about the truth. They care about making you react, forcing you into a defensive position where they can control the narrative. But a Stoic doesn't waste energy on games. A Stoic doesn't beg to be understood. A Stoic doesn't engage in pointless battles. Instead, a Stoic observes, controls, and dismantles the manipulation with precision. In this video, you're going to learn how to argue against someone who twists your words without losing your composure or falling into their traps. You'll learn how to shut down their tactics with clarity, how to use silence as a weapon, and how to maintain unshakable dominance without ever raising your voice. This isn't just about winning an argument, it's about commanding respect effortlessly. But before we get into it, take a moment to support this channel, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. If you want to take your learning further, consider joining our channel membership. The basic supporter tier helps keep Beyond Vision Mindset growing, while the exclusive video tier gives you access to premium, members-only content designed to sharpen your mindset even further. Now, let's begin. 1. Don't play the game, control is power. When someone twists your words, your first instinct might be to jump in and correct them. You want to prove that they're wrong, that they're misrepresenting you. But here's the problem: the moment you engage emotionally, you've already lost. That's exactly what they want. They want you to react, to get flustered, to be on the defensive. The more you try to explain yourself, the more control you give them over the conversation. A Stoic never hands over control. Instead of reacting, pause. Observe. Take a breath. When someone deliberately distorts your words, see it for what it is, a tactic, not truth. Instead of scrambling to fix their false narrative, hold your ground. Imagine a strong tree in a storm. It doesn't chase the wind, it simply stands firm. That's how you should approach these situations. The key is detachment. Understand that their attempt to twist your words says more about them than it does about you. It's a sign of their insecurity, their need for control, their desire to win at all costs. But a Stoic doesn't chase validation. You do not need to prove yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. So what do you do instead? You refuse to engage emotionally. If they say, "So you're saying you don't care about anyone else's opinion?" Instead of defending yourself, you calmly say, "That's not what I said. What I actually said was," and repeat your point with absolute clarity. No anger. No frustration. Just facts. By staying composed, you strip them of their power. They expect an emotional reaction. When you don't give them one, you leave them with nothing to manipulate. And that's when you take control. 2. Use precision like a weapon. Master your words. Manipulators thrive on ambiguity. They take vague statements and twist them to fit their agenda, making it seem like you meant something you never intended. That's why your best defense is precision. When you speak with absolute clarity, you leave no room for distortion. Every word becomes deliberate, every sentence unshakable. A Stoic understands that truth does not need excess decoration, it stands on its own. So instead of giving long-winded explanations or justifications, be direct. If someone tries to twist your words, don't get emotional, get precise. Say exactly what you mean in the simplest, clearest terms possible. For example, if you say, "I think people should take responsibility for their actions," and they respond with, "So you're saying you don't believe in forgiveness?" Don't fall into their trap. Instead of arguing, calmly correct them. "No, that's not what I said. I said people should take responsibility for their actions. Forgiveness and accountability are two different things." Then stop talking. This works because precision removes their ability to twist your words further. When you're vague, they can manipulate the meaning. But when you're precise, they are left with nothing to exploit. You control the conversation, not them. Another powerful tactic is mirroring. When someone distorts what you said, repeat their own misinterpretation back to them in a neutral, questioning tone. "So you're saying that I don't believe in forgiveness? Is that what you think I meant?" This forces them to take responsibility for their own distortion, putting them on the spot. Stoicism teaches us that words should be used with discipline, not as weapons of chaos. A Stoic does not waste words or allow them to be misused by others. Speak with precision, and you become untouchable. 3. Silence is louder than words. The power of not reacting. Most people underestimate the power of silence. When confronted with manipulation, their instinct is to fill the space, to explain, to defend, to argue. But Stoics understand that silence is not weakness, it is one of the most powerful tools of control. When used correctly, it forces the other person to reveal their true intentions and exposes the flaws in their argument without you saying a single word. Think about it. Why do manipulators twist your words? They want a reaction. They feed off of your frustration, your need to clarify, your emotional energy. The more you respond, the more ammunition you give them. But when you don't react, they lose control of the situation. Imagine someone trying to distort your words in front of others. Instead of jumping to defend yourself, you pause. You give them a calm, neutral stare. You let the weight of silence sit in the air. What happens next? They scramble. They become uncomfortable. They either try to backtrack or double down, exposing their own manipulative nature. You, on the other hand, remain composed, untouchable. Silence is not passive. It is a strategic move. Here's how to use it effectively. When someone misrepresents you, don't rush to explain. Instead, pause. Let the silence stretch. This makes them uncomfortable and forces them to question themselves. If they press for a reaction, respond with a calm, controlled statement. Something like, "I have nothing to add to that," or "You're entitled to your opinion." Then stop talking. Use silence to let their words echo. The more they speak, the more they expose themselves. If they're lying, contradicting themselves, or twisting reality, they'll eventually slip up. This technique is especially powerful in heated arguments. Most people expect retaliation. They want you to get loud, defensive, or emotional. But when you remain still, unshaken, their tactics fall apart. It sends a strong message. You are not someone they can manipulate. In Stoicism, self-control is dominance. The person who speaks the least but listens the most has the real power. Words can be twisted, but silence cannot be misquoted. And that is what makes it so dangerous to those who try to distort reality. When you master silence, you master the conversation. 4. Redefine the battlefield. Shift control to your terms. One of the biggest mistakes people make when arguing with manipulators is playing by their rules. When someone twists your words, they want you to stay trapped in their framework, reacting to their distortions. But a Stoic knows that true power lies in shifting the conversation onto their own terms. Instead of defending yourself, you take control and force them to play your game. How do you do this? By questioning, reframing, and leading the conversation where you want it to go. Answer manipulation with questions. Instead of getting defensive, turn the distortion back onto them with a calm, pointed question. For example, if they say, "So you're saying you don't care about other people?" Instead of arguing, respond with, "Why would you assume that's what I meant?" This forces them to explain their own false assumption, putting them on the defensive instead of you. Questions disrupt their control and shift the burden onto them to justify their words. A well-placed question halts their momentum and makes them second-guess their own tactics. Reframe the conversation. Manipulators twist your words to control the narrative. A Stoic doesn't argue within that framework, they redefine it. If someone distorts what you said, don't waste energy correcting them. Instead, restate your original point with authority. For example, if they say, "So you're saying people should never get help from others?" Instead of defending, say, "No. What I'm saying is that self-reliance builds strength, but seeking help when necessary is also wise." Notice the shift. You're not explaining yourself, you're reasserting your position. This makes it clear that you set the terms of the conversation, not them. Make them reveal their intentions. Sometimes, the best way to expose a manipulator is to force them to clarify their own words. If they keep twisting what you say, calmly ask, "Are you misunderstanding me on purpose, or is this a genuine mistake?" This puts them in a difficult position. If they claim it's a mistake, they're admitting they weren't listening properly. If they double down, they reveal their intent to manipulate. Either way, you win. Control the exit. A Stoic never stays in an unproductive argument. When you've said what needs to be said, end the conversation on your terms. A simple, calm statement like, "I've made my point. I have nothing more to add," shuts down the discussion with finality. No further debate. No lingering frustration. Just control. In the end, manipulators win by keeping you engaged, making you react, and forcing you to play their game. But when you shift control, question their assumptions, and redefine the battlefield, they lose their grip. A Stoic doesn't fight unnecessary battles. They dominate the battlefield before the fight even begins. Handling people who twist your words isn't about winning arguments, it's about maintaining control. The moment you allow someone to manipulate your emotions, they've already won. But when you master precision, silence, and strategic questioning, you make it impossible for them to control the conversation. Remember, Stoics don't waste energy proving themselves to those who distort reality. They speak with clarity, remain composed, and dictate the terms of engagement. By doing this, you don't just argue better, you command respect effortlessly. If you found value in these Stoic principles, make sure to like, comment, and share this video to help others navigate manipulative conversations with strength. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset for more strategies on personal power, self-mastery, and Stoic wisdom. Unlock exclusive content and support the channel. Join our membership program for deeper insights and exclusive perks. Basic supporter tier, Show your support and stay connected. X video tier, get premium, in-depth breakdowns on Stoic strategies and personal growth. Click join now and take your mindset to the next level. Stay strong. Stay stoic. See you in the next video.